I never would have expected to be living in Orlando post the Fellows program, and I think because of the community and the friendships that I've formed and the church body that has just come alongside me and feeling called into the work that I'm doing now, Orlando really has just begun to feel like home.
So a lot of people ask me why I'm in Orlando, why I did the Orlando Fellows. My best answer is because God led me here.
So coming into the Orlando Fellows program, I definitely had expectations like most people do. And somewhere along the way, I think God really just began to remind me that He wanted me to have open hands to what He had for me in these 9 months.
One thing about the Orlando Fellows that I love is how it pushes you out of your comfort zone, something that you wouldn't find yourself doing the year after college. One of those things is a silent retreat. It was a whole weekend at this monastery outside of Atlanta in Conyers, Georgia. We couldn't talk for 48 straight hours. All we could do was spend time with Jesus, read our Bible, and pray. And it was an unbelievable setting and experience to be in, and something that I just never would have done, and now something that I would like to do once a year, but it's just something that I would have never seen the value in if I didn't do the Fellows.
Some of the distinctives of the Orlando Fellows program for me that were really exciting were the host families. So for 9 months, Brett pairs us with a host family in Orlando that's part of our church, and it's a family who has chosen to just take us in for a year. We get to live with them and to be part of their normal routine, and instead of just kind of living and having a room, they really just accept us into every part of their lives, and just to get to see how another family who loves the Lord lives and parents and loves each other.
It's on Facebook, they're voting right now.
One thing that really stuck out to me about the Orlando Fellows, and if someone was on the fence about choosing between another Fellows program versus the Orlando Fellows, or choosing between a job and the Orlando Fellows, is the 3 C's, which is contemporary, the city, and community. Contemporary being First Pres has contemporary worship. I think that's very important for people our age or used to that. I've had friends who have been at churches in the Fellows that don't have contemporary worship, it's always traditional. And they have good community in their Fellows program, but post-Fellows, the Fellows kind of disperse and they go to different churches. One thing I also think is unique about First Pres to Orlando is it's in the city. We're 3 blocks from the Amway Center. We're literally on the same street of where the Orlando Magic play. We have 20-story high-rises literally a block away from our church. And my church is literally 2 blocks from where I work every day, which I think is really unique. And also it makes us more in tune with the city. Like, we're living in the city and being a part of the city to where we're not ignoring what's going on in the city and our culture. And thirdly, I would say the 3rd C would be community. The 20s community I think is very unique and to our church, how many people that are in their 20s that are choosing to go to First Pres and choosing to dig in and choosing to serve. But also I've found a lot of community with families. And I think the Fellows program does a good job with that, with being in a host family, being in a host home. But why I decided to stay in Orlando was more than just the job. And a lot of people talk about cities and they're like, oh, I live in Raleigh because I love the food, or I live in Knoxville because I love the mountains. And I'll say about Orlando, like, I like the food, I like being close to the beach, I like the city, and I like my job, but those aren't the reasons that led me to stay specifically in Orlando. And the reason I decided to stay was the community. It's so much more about the community than it is about any other aspect that makes a city attractive.
one of the biggest things that I think I'll take away from Fellows is this posture of receiving what the Lord has, and no matter where He leads me for the rest of my life, whether that's Orlando for the next 15 years or somewhere else, just getting to be in a full posture of receiving what God has. And so trusting His plan is so much greater than my own. So if you are considering doing the Orlando Fellows program, I would just ask, what is holding you back? If this is something that God has for you and you are trusting that He has the best plan for you in these 9 months, what is holding you back from taking that step and trusting Him with these next 9 months?